securing that A or an A star in A-level maths. This video, my intention is that I will give you a very oddly specific checklist over here, and I'm going to talk through it as to why I've put these things specifically. And so hopefully, it really ups your marks, and maybe fills in some gaps that you didn't know you had, but now has come into your attention. Got 3 stars. I do tutoring, so if you need help, email me. And so I think we should just begin. So, which track are you? I've done this for biology, I've done this for chemistry, so look at those videos on my channel, okay? So we have track number 1. You know the method for most questions, yeah, like if I gave you a SUVAT question, you can essentially do it as much. Maybe you'll make some mistakes, but at least you have the overall method. But the thing is that you might struggle with certain topics. That could be the big ones, like integration, parametric equations, and whatever. And you know what? The marks that you do get happen to be hit or miss. Like, maybe they're not consistent, or maybe they're consistently bad. There's that as well. And you know what? Sometimes you cry. Sometimes you crash out over maths. You just think, gosh, the questions are really hard. And like, am I actually going to get the grade that I wanted at the end? So, in regards to people who fall into that sort of bubble, I've got 2 suggestions for you. I recommend you just stop this video and go watch this one instead, okay? Because this kind of tells you how to go from a low grade to a high grade, so C to D and A star. The thing is, just because I'm here teaching whatever most of biology, isn't it? Biology and stuff and A levels doesn't mean I was an A star student from the get-go. No, no. Actually, on the contrary, I was not. And it's because I know how it feels like, and because I know what it's like to be on that low grade and then to do certain things that would increase my grade. That's why I say the things that I say. I don't say it randomly. I'm not a hypocrite. I did the things that I'm preaching to you guys. So yeah, so when I was on a low grade, I did the things that I said in this video. And then once you've done that, then watch this one, okay? As you can see, yep, for England. But I'm not here to give you very niche, sorry, that is what I'm trying to do. I'm not here to give you general advice. That's like beyond me. I could never. I would hate to give general advice. So hence why my videos are a bit long and they're quite niche. Because it's the niche things that help you improve, not the general things. Like, okay, someone could say do exam questions, sick. But what? What exam questions? Where are they from? How should I do it? That's where I come in. So yeah, these 2 videos, and yeah, there's a lot about mindset at the end of the video. So people who are stressing out, who are crashing out, who are like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. Even if you don't want to watch those videos, maybe go towards the end, maybe last 8 minutes of each video, or maybe 5. And I speak about how your mindset should be, because your mindset really matters. And I tell you that now from someone who started crying too much over maths. Anyways, right, and then we have the second track, where people, your grade is between a high B and A star, but the thing is, what's holding you back is silly mistakes. Silly mistakes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and dessert at this point. But the thing is that you really want to get that grade, and it's just like you're doing any exam questions underneath the sun, but it's just like those silly mistakes are eating at you. And yeah, you make mistakes about certain questions, but then you learn from it. But can I just say, before we actually continue this video, if you make silly mistakes, or if they're really bad, because I went through a whole phase around 2 weeks before my mocks where I just kept making mistakes. Bro, how can I put a negative instead of a positive? How can I write, oh my god, in the question, it will be like, I don't know, 3x. In my workings out, I'd put 5x. Now, what is happening? I don't even know. So, this is what I did to solve that issue, was that I went chronically slow. Like, it was painfully slow. Like, the way I was working stuff out. I went so slow, and that every single line of workings out, I kept trying to justify to myself, why have I done this? And every single line of working, I went back to the questions, checked whether I've written the right symbols, the right letters, the right numbers. And I kept doing that. It was so painful. It was actually so painful. God forbid I go back to that stage again. But like, it was horrible. But it worked. It worked so well because I trained myself. I stopped making the mistakes because I knew, like, darling, you spent this much time, trying to solve this, and you hated in the moment, hated it, but it's worked. So let's just continue with this. So even in the exam, every single line of working, I wouldn't go slow, I would go fast, no problem. But in every single line of working, I would keep going back, check my numbers are correct, check all of this, because the thing is, right, you need the numbers and letters to be right. That's it. Like, it's just very simple. But yeah, that's my method. Go really, really slow. And then, yeah, if you're on that track, continue watching this video and then watch this video to seal the deal, okay? Right. Checklist for you. Yay! They are very niche. I say this stuff that I say here because that's where most of the marks come from. And the thing is, this is also where people lose the marks as well, because they overlook certain things. So hopefully, by me, giving these things to you, you address stuff that you hadn't addressed before, and maybe you see some gaps in your knowledge and stuff. Because in maths, like, you either get or you don't, you know. So yeah, the intention here is that you use this checklist. It's not meant to be a 1 hour activity, it's meant to be like a whole day activity, or a couple of hours, or spread over 3 days, sort of thing. Because it's constantly like you see, or I tell you the question or the statement in the post-it notes, and then you go ahead and work on it, and then you continue and continue and continue on. Okay? So, first things first. Can you confidently draw graphs, exponentials, logarithmics, modulus, trig, transformations? Very simple. You need to draw the graphs. I don't know what else I can tell you. Especially with modulus, do you know what it means for the modulus sign to be around it? If it's a negative inside, what happens to the graph? Next thing. Do you have a graphical calculator? Because I know the further maths kids do, but the normal maths kids, some people have it, some people don't. Me personally, I did, and it was OMG. It was amazing. She is beauty, she is grace, she is Miss United States. It is incredible. The amount of times I got to check my work because of the graphical calculator was too good. Too good. So if you do have it, make sure you know all the tricks. If you don't have it, and if you could get it, get it. If you can't get it, it's not a problem, it's fine. Just make sure you really know how to draw a graph properly, because you can't check it on the normal scientific calculator class whiz, can you? And if you want to learn about tricks, literally type into YouTube. Just how you found me, you can find the tricks online. And is your integration at 100% accuracy? You need to understand the integration topic is massive. Naturally, they're going to ask loads of questions about it. And the marks that they do assign to it is major. It can really boost your grade from a B to an A or an A to an A star. So make sure that's at 100% accuracy, aka go target it. That's why I've put the different versions or different categories of integration so you can work on it systematically. Bit odd, but do you actually know how sigma notation works in sequences and series? Because some people don't know when to add one or subtract one. Like, let's say if this was 93, are you going to be doing 90? Oh, are you going to be 92 plus 91? Like, do you get what I mean? Like, do you know how sigma notations work? And if you don't, please get to know. Because whenever they do give a sigma notation sort of question on the exam, it will be one of the funky ones. Next one, do you actually know how to use fractions or negatives as powers in binomial expansion? So let's say that's your sequence, and then it's to the power of minus 2x. Do you know how to approach it? Because if it's minus, it's different to if it's positive, for example. I don't know why my pen's glitching. What the hell's going on there? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, vectors. Despicable me. But yeah, vectors. Always gonna be a question on it. So if they're not hard per se, but I remember I kept getting them wrong. It's because I didn't have a method really for them. I just was kind of going with the flow. But don't do that. Whenever you do vectors, can I just say, really take the bird's eye view and low key take a step back, figuratively, and just think, okay, I'm trying to get to this position over here, but what are the different routes that I could take? Just really trying to think about it logically there and methodically. Next, anything, darlings, anything to do with parametric equations, get it perfect, please, because I can't lie, people get these wrong. So if you get them right, then you've beat basically over half the country. Proofs always coming up, always. So make sure you know all the different versions, so by exhaustion, by contradiction, induction, algebraic manipulation, or whatever. Okay, if you don't know how to do them, YouTube, simple. And make sure differentiation is perfect, just how I said about integration. Okay, integration and differentiation are the mothers, are the parents of pure maths to sort it out. Next thing, have you done all the different versions of exam questions that normal distribution could come up as? It could be the simple ones, it could be the wordy ones, it could be the really intense calculation ones. Just whatever normal distribution question you find, do it and make sure they're tip top, okay? Because the bulk of stats is normal distribution, literally. And can you confidently write conclusions? So that could be for hypotheses, that could be for significant like significant levels and differences and stuff. Make sure you can write conclusions. People overlook the questions in A level stats where it's like or sorry, A level I might say A level, sorry, stats or mechanics, right? People overlook the written questions. So it could be like, oh, why is it that we say this is a particle in mechanics? You know, oh, because it's this, like, the wordy ones. Can I just say a quick story? One of my friends got, I think it was either an A or an A star. I think it was A star actually. She got an A star, and her A star mark was on the A star mark. And do you know what gave her the A star mark? It was because she answered one of the worded questions correct. I mean, you could argue it was any of the marks that she got that was on the A star mark, but like in her head, it's like, oh, I said that the ball's. I don't know what it was. It was something about like the ball is modeled as a particle, or why, something like that. I don't know, but that was like the A star mark. So you actually don't know where you're gonna get the marks from. Well, you do know, but like in terms of the worded ones, make sure you get them because again, not many people are gonna focus on that, and if you do focus on it a little bit and you get those marks, again, you're ahead of the country. And can you confidently write conclusions? I've probably already said that. Oh yeah, large data set. People hate on it. Okay, relax yourselves. Just watch a video on YouTube. Literally write A-level stats, maths, whatever, large data set. Just watch anything that comes up. And if there's any YouTube shorts about it, also watch that. Very odd, but they do really help. And just kind of isolate all the large data set questions in a document so you can kind of see what they keep assessing. Because I can't lie, every year it's the same things that they keep asking for it. And then make sure you can resolve forces. Guys, mechanics is just resolving forces. That is the backbone. That is the everything of mechanics. If you can't resolve forces, what the hell's going on there? So make sure that's perfect. So that what I mean by that is you know how friction and tension works, the direction of them, how they affect your equations. What does it mean for friction to be higher than tension, whatever, okay? And make sure you can apply the forces knowledge and stuff to the certain questions, so moments, pulleys, turning forces, whatever. And I need you to, whenever you do these questions, to take it sentence, not sentence by sentence, but like step by step, and you have to justify to yourself why you're doing each step. Because the more you justify, the more it'll help you. Because in the exam, if you've been relying on just kind of muscle memory and stuff, that's fine, that's good. I also did that. But if the question is worded differently or some different variables now added, you're actually finished because muscle memory doesn't adapt to new situations. It only adapts to old situations. So that's why it's really important in maths that you justify everything that you do to yourself before the exam. So you kind of like have all the understanding prior. And so then when you're in the exam and things get a bit difficult, you can fall back on your previous knowledge and you're like, you know what? I actually got this because I do get it. I do understand how moments work. I didn't just learn it for the exam. Like I know why we're doing each step. So a lot of like thinking to do with it. And yeah, those are the things that I pretty much had in my head. Of course, there's other things that you could do, but I think start off with these, and then hopefully, you improve. That's really the goal, isn't it? You'll be like, guys, step away. I'm in the building. I'm gonna get that grade that I want. Call it a day. Leave the exam hall. Have your summer and go and do whatever you want in September. And yeah. So that was the end on securing that A or any star in A-level maths. I hope that was useful. Any suggestions for videos, put them down in the comment section and I will try my best to do it for you guys, okay? Have a lovely day of revising. Make sure you take your breaks and I shall see you guys very soon. Bye!